as per our keynote speaker here, we have the CEO, Karl Thedéen. Welcome on stage, Karl, and let's give him a big round.
Thank you very much. Before we move into the next era, we go back to the old era. This is a picture probably taken in the mid-1960s. In the middle, you see a research reactor that was commissioned in 1960. Decommissioning started 2005. And since we're also in decommissioning, it took exactly 20 years for Svafo to complete the decommissioning. This chimney went down last summer. And now it's ready for a new research reactor. And we are obviously also in that motion together with the company NA2 to see how we can get funding and interest and industry interest to also build a new research reactor for the benefit of nuclear, also life science applications in the Nordics, very important. But we are turning 80 next year, so it's going to be a lot of celebrations. Going to see even more about us in the press than we have seen in the last couple of years. My team told me that this is interesting in Sweden nuclear. How many times did the minister mention your company name? And my team tells me Ms. Bush mentioned us 4 times, and we are really proud that we are in the motion again and in motion in Sweden and internationally when it comes to nuclear. We are active in the full cycle of nuclear. That comes to decommissioning, supporting long-term operation. We'll come back to that, and also recently with the acquisition of Canfor Next, also into new build in this new era of nuclear. So this is the past. Heritage is important. Knowledge is important. Security is important. This is what we have in this site. But I'm going to take you through another thing that I think is important in the debate on why we need nuclear. And I'm going to have the example in Sweden, but I'm sure it's applicable also in other parts of the world. This is interesting. This is demand. This is the thing we try to solve. But as an industry, bear in mind, I know if there is anyone representing Fortum here, I think they have done a great job to raising the concern or importance that we get this hockey stick on these energy demand. Because the energy demand is not up yet. We have the same electricity demand now as in 1985 in this country. So we can talk about demand, but it's not really here now. So very important that we see these big, huge projects up in the north in Sweden, electrification in general in society continue. Because then is when you see this hockey stick. And there are different organizations. The lowest here is the Swedish Energy Authority. And they also have the highest. So you see the split here is very high. So it's something between 50 to 75% increase to almost a 200% increase in demand. And we should know this because we talk about the big demand increase, but it's not here yet. But it would come. And the good thing or bad thing is that nuclear takes a lot of time. So we probably need to get started anyway because this is of the here and now. But as we come here, we start commissioning more and more new nuclear. We hope and see and believe that the forecasts are true, that we're going to have more demand. So I hope you agree on this one. Then I took the opportunity to show the existing 6 plants that we have in Sweden. And this is, obviously, most of you know this. This is not my plants. These are belonging to Fortum, Uniper, and Vattenfall. They were basically built and commissioned in the early 1980s. And they, in the current plants, and I know there are some from these utilities, there are plans to extend life to these ones to be 80 years instead of 60. But the current plans is 60 years. That means that all these will shut down in the mid-2040s. The last one being Fort Mark 3, that was commissioned in 1985. That's only, 20 years from now. I think it's quite important to have this. We are not necessarily building our new nuclear power to extend capacity, but maybe just to replace capacity. If we then go into what has been announced, and obviously we are very proud that we are part of quite a few of these. Videberg Kraft, ahead of us a bit, that announced to build 1.5 giga in Ringhals. And then we came out with 2 announcements so far. Land in Valdemarsvik for 46 SMRs, and yesterday in Nyköping with 2 to 4 SMRs. and then we have more sites in play. We hope and believe that other utilities will come along and start building new nuclear. If you don't see the gap, in 2045 here, all these have been decommissioned, and maybe we have another 2.5 giga at that time. So if this plan continues, we will have less base load in 20 years' time than we have today. We will not have absolutely no increase. So obviously what needs to happen is this bar go over to 2060, 2065. That is the plans. Do we know it's going to happen? No, because we are engaged in a lot of those research around material and fuel for that. And there's no research to determine that it actually is happening for all the sites that they can be extended to 2065. That's still in motion, that's still in R&D. And we are heavily involved in those research activities. And this is obviously the same in the rest of the world. Will all this happen? Well, let's see. So in the scale of things, how many SMRs do you need? Because we're talking about a lot, and there's also a great presentation about how you build these products and how you plan them. But this is at scale for decades to come. We're talking about building 9 reactors. In the current financing scheme is only up to 2.5 gigawatts in this country, as you may know. That's what's been in the budgets. That's what is secured in the budgeting process to date that you can apply for. 1.5 gigawatt is also already applied for by Videbergkraft, and obviously we hope to also be applying for state aid to be part of these 9. Neither we or Videbergkraft have said that all these 9 are going to be commissioned and start in operation in 2035. What we have said, similar to Videbergkraft, is that the first one, hopefully in 2035, 2036. The first. So say that we and Videbergkraft are successful, then we have 7 to go after 2035. So hopefully we are done by 2040. Hopefully. Then to get up to the 7 gigawatts, which is the total capacity installed today in nuclear, we need to build 23 SMRs. 23. That's a pretty large undertaking in terms of construction in multiple sites. And to reach the current government's goal of 10 gigawatts, we are talking about 33 SMRs. So what this slide says that we better get going, irrespectively if we believe in this or not. Because independent of this demand increase, we will have to start building just to secure the baseload. And for those interested in politics, I don't know, maybe the politicians here, I think there is a tremendous majority in the parliament in Sweden that we should keep the baseload of 7 gigawatts. There are some parties that may though think that we should increase it, but everybody that I've listened to says, yes, it's good to have 7. And then we better get going, because we need to build 23 to keep it. The good thing, I think, being CEO of Studsvik, is that we are part of the value chain for both things after our big step into new nuclear that we took earlier this year. So first, this is what we have been doing in addition to decommissioning over the last 20, 30 years since the sort of build-out was done, is to support long-term operation. We do that by providing our core design and safety analysis software that is running in the majority of the plants in Sweden. We do that by doing advanced materials testing. We do that by supporting a lot of new fuel development and many other things that we need to do. And more things need to happen. There's a lot of things that we don't know about long-term operation investigations that we hope to be part of as well. The second gap is to support the 10 gigawatts. And there, we are obviously now with the acquisition of Canfor Next into project development, assessment and planning permits, seizing the different good properties and land that we can build on. To date, we have announced 2. Technology selection and vendor partnerships. We are, and that's important, we are not going to be a buyer of a reactor. We're going to join partnerships together with reactor vendors, construction companies, and many other suppliers to construct and build in partnership with private financing and state financing to build these nuclear power plants. A different way of doing things. And I think that's important because to date, maybe someone should be said now, to date, it's only one of the 3 utilities that have said they're going to do something on new nuclear. So we need other initiatives to support the 33 gigawatts that we're going to be. Finally, I show this picture when I talk to investors. It's the only thing they remember. Also, I show my numbers or whatever. Pictures is important. This is our site in, I don't know, it's a bit more recent. I'm sure it was sun also in the 60s, but it was more black and white pictures at that time. Here you can see some of the initiatives and discussions that we have in the industry. Not all of these are secured, but all of these can happen. So if you, like me, will visit our site in mid-2030, we can run into the first of our 2 to 4 SMRs. We are planning to see what we can do also to support a research reactor deployment, including being part of isotope production. And for those who doesn't know that, it's very good for our industry to couple ourselves with life science, because there is a very big political support for life science, and it's a sort of support for nuclear. And life science is very problematic. When Russia was closed down, a lot of the isotope production that we depended on was gone. And all the other ones are under exclusive deals in the US. So this continent, Europe, is desperately needing more isotope production. So the research reactor and to do something with that will be important. We have discussion to also work with data center, of course, with the power and also the security we have at our site. We will continue to operate our hot cells for all the testing and long-term operation support and also licensing support to new reactors. In drum, I never understood what it was when I started. It's in a drum, i.e. you keep the waste in a drum and you have the methodology to reduce the waste. So 10 drums becomes 1 drum. And we are planning to build that also at our site in Studsvik to help operational waste and a lot of the legacy waste that we have to take away. And then last but not least, there is a huge movement just back of the new nuclear on fusion. And we are in discussions here also with parties in this region and outside this region to see how we can support it both with a test reactor, but also a lot of the material science here is similar, or i.e. the competence we have will also be required there. So maybe I go back. Something has happened from this to this. So Studsvik is on the move, Sweden is on the move, but we can't stop now. We need to start building. And I think hopefully that that will happen over the next couple of years. With that, thank you.